The Green Bay Packers expose a big need on offense in their win against the Tennessee Titans. I'm going to break that down for you guys in this video. If you haven't subscribed, please take a second to like and subscribe. Okay, so let's jump into it. The Packers got another impressive win with backup quarterback Malik Willis out there. However, there was a glaring need that became more and more apparent as the game went on. Well, let's break that down here in a second. You got the bottom five offensive PFF grades for the Packers. Last game, Jenkins 51.6, Tucker Kraft 52.4, Luke Musgrave 53, Rasheed Walker 53.3. You notice a theme there. They're all related to blocking, and it became more and more frustrating for me. And it seemed like anytime Josh Jacobs was touching the ball, something was getting called back. A drive was getting stalled. When you're playing against a team like the Tennessee Titans or the Indianapolis Colts, so you might be able to get away with that. But when you start playing against a better opponent like the Minnesota Vikings that we have coming up, you're not going to get away with that. And the Minnesota Vikings love to send the pressure. So the Packers are going to be vulnerable to committing more holding penalties. Well, just how many penalties did they have this past week? 10 penalties for 75 yards, including a pair of holding penalties by Jenkins, one of our best offensive linemen, and a fifth holding penalty of the year for tackle Rasheed Walker. In 3 games, the Packers have already committed 26 penalties, which is 9.7 per game and 196 yards in penalties total. The Green Bay Packers entering Sunday's game committed 8 per game, which they ranked 23rd. Now that got worse. Now they're at 9.7. This is becoming a problem for the Packers. So, again, this is not going to be a lasting theme that they can get away with and still win games, especially against better opponents. So let's take a look at our offensive linemen. You've got Rasheed Walker coming into this season. I love the dude. I thought he was great filling in for Bakhtiari last season. He only got better as the season went on, but he's kind of having that same slump that he's had starting last season. And then again, of course, he got better. So let's hope that theme continues for him. But as it stands right now, his overall PFF grade not looking too great at 60 overall. 5 penalties committed, which is a problem, and he's allowed 1 sack. So off to a very slow start this season. You got next to him, you got Elton Jenkins. Of course, Jenkins, one of the better ones on the Packers team and one of the better guards I feel in the game. He has an overall PFF grade of 71.8. He's allowed 2 penalties, no sacks. Jenkins, I'm not worried about this dude. He's super good. But when we start talking about the depth, in case something happens to Jenkins, that may become a problem. Josh Myers, our center, of course, I feel this is going to be his last year in Green Bay at center. We already knew that coming in. Jacob Monk might be a nice fill in for him at some point this year as well. His overall PFF grade not looking too hot at a 53.2. However, I have seen him move well out there blocking for, on a big sweep for either Wilson or Josh Jacobs at times. He's looked decent. I wouldn't mind him as a backup in Green Bay. 3 penalties overall. Again, 53.2 overall PFF grade. Next to him is Sean Ryan. Of course, that is because we are without Jordan Morgan at the moment. This has been a disappointment for the Green Bay Packers. It says right here, Packers first round pick Jordan Morgan re-injures the shoulder. Return timeline unclear. Super disappointing news for us Packer fans out there, because when you've got a guy that you've invested so much draft capital in, you really hope to see a return on investment there. Haven't seen it yet. So let's go back to Sean Ryan. Sean Ryan, he's good. I don't mind Sean Ryan at all. So if you're going to have an injury to a position on the offensive line, you want it to be at right guard, because Sean Ryan is a very good starter or backup. His overall PFF grade at a 66.5, 0 penalties allowed, 0 sacks allowed. This dude is super solid. But again, we would welcome the depth, especially when we've invested so much draft capital, first round pick into Jordan Morgan. Zach Tom, this dude needs 0 introduction. One of the best tackles in the game. He's got a PFF grade of a 78.4, 2 penalties this season, 0 sacks allowed. Again, I'm not concerned about Zach Tom at all or Jenkins. However, when you start taking a look at our depth, It's very thin. And if we get sustain an injury to Zach Tom or Jenkins, man, this offensive line is seriously going to struggle. So who's the best available as of the 23rd of this month, available tackles in free agency? Well, you've got David Bakhtiari, of course, the biggest, sexiest name out there that's available. And he said, hey, listen, if I'm going to be joining a team, I'm going to be starting. And the Packers may need him if Walker continues to kind of struggle there. Now, Bakhtiari is one of those, man, it's if he could stay healthy, that's like the biggest if that if you biggest capital letters if this dude can stay healthy. Of course, he's one of the best in the game. He's already proved that. But the Packers could even get like a Jason Peters, a Billy Turner, a Riley Reef out there, Matt Nelson. These are decent guys that could be some backups and get in there and fill in if a guy is struggling like Walker has. Leave your comments. Let me know which route do you think the Packers need to go? Do they need to go and get in somebody in free agency? And if so, and of course, David Bakhtiari is the most familiar name. He's the best name out there, but that comes with some baggage for us Packer fans because this dude is always hurt, which doesn't help the problem that we currently have right now in Jordan Morgan. Leave your comments. Let me know what you guys think. And as always, go Pack, go.